Man. Let's see. Get Eric's bitch ass. Yep. This is what I do. I just don't film it. A lot of times I'm just in my room working on my guns, and I don't go live because, again, like I said, I get bored talking to myself. But I'm gonna start going live with certain people that are notable in the gun world to kind of help promote them, and then some knowledge to you guys. Just said, yeah, work. Oh, lame. All right. So who else want to go live? Anyone else got questions? Because I'm not sitting here talking about myself. Let's see who up in here. Okay, Matt up in here. Let's see. Try to get North Florida Tactical up in here. All right.
What it do?
There he is. What up, Doc?
What's going on, man?
How you been? Long time no see.
I know, right? Chilling. I'm out here in Houston, Texas these days. I'm over here doing dishes and watching your live.
Bro, I be seeing you out there, bro. That's with the training classes. I like it, bro. It's really improving. That's why I want to start going live with you. Spread some of that knowledge.
For sure. You know what? A lot of people are asking me lately is like, when is it gonna go down in North Florida again? You know what I mean? And a couple people have asked me if I knew you a few times and if we ever do any cross training. I swear, a few times. Like, yeah, I do.
Oh yeah. We definitely been out shooting. That's why. I knew you was talking about coming back to Jacksonville. That's why I want to link up with you when you do come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. You already know. Did Johnny hit you up?
Johnny is Savage?
Nah, Instructor Muertos, Johnny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was you. I was like, why does Matt have like 3 of the same pages?
Nah, that's Johnny.
I was like, damn, you got 3 medical pages, bro?
That's him. That's the other instructor.
Okay.
Yeah, he hit you up because there's a lot of people, once again, was hitting him up too, and they think it'd be a good idea, me too, if we do that. Yeah,
man, like, again, if I could have more time to travel, bro, I would actually come down to Texas and me and you would like film some shit, like a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, you need to come down out here, man. Really. You already know.
Yeah, I feel like if I go, I'm not gonna come back.
You won't. You probably won't. I ain't gonna lie.
But hey, I'm just have to do all my videos now with a cowboy hat. I'm Texas.
Yeah, I'm ordering my cowboy boots, all that stuff now. Hey, you gonna see my I'm a Texan now. For real. Yeah, come. Oh wait, you supposed to be coming out anyway. You come out to that?
I think you said what, in September?
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely trying to make all plans to come out there for that.
Yeah.
All right, what's this guy say? CJ Green said he got the Springfield Saint. What upgrades as far as barrel and rail should you get, or should I get? For Springfield Saint, as far as barrel and rail, I would just keep it as is. That's straight enough. So I'll just focus on optic and a sling. So get you an optic. I'm not sure what you want, whether it be LPVO or whatnot. But yeah, definitely get you an optic, and then a sling. But yeah, the barrel and rail I would just keep. That's fine as is. I'm just a picky bastard. I like to have what I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That's all right now.
But since you're on here, I got a question. Someone who's new, like doesn't know anything about medical. What's the first steps they should take to become medically proficient?
Oh,
Like, I don't know. I don't know shit. Like, let's just say, like, my neighbor got shot. Right, like, my neighbor got shot, and I didn't know what to do. What should I do?
Like, what steps you would take to become your journey of being medically proficient?
Yeah, I guess, like, if you want to... Well, is that hard? Should I word it better?
No, that makes sense. That's perfect. That makes sense. I would begin with taking a Stop the Bleed class. In my opinion, from what I've seen with Stop the Bleed, it's great curriculum. It's the American College Surgeons, all them. It's certified course, and there's really great information in it. After I got those basic concepts down, I would advance my training to tactical medicine. Difference being that Stop the Bleed doesn't have many tactical considerations. It's more so, you know, an accident, maybe something happens and this, but you're not
like an immediate response.
Yeah, but you're not worried about any ongoing threat or high risk environment. You know what I mean? But once you get to the tactical medicine, that's when weapons get involved, firearms get involved. That's when moving casualties and all that. Anything that if you carry a firearm, either recreationally, that's the level that I would be trying to get on is tactical medicine. But Stop the Bleed, of course, it's a great starting point because tactical medicine just builds on those concepts, and it kind of builds on top of them. TCCC, TECC to be specific. Those are great ways to get into it, and you'll be, like I say, pretty well-rounded once you add that to your
like a good starting point.
Yeah, I like to say that because when you also train tactical medicine, you also get a better understanding of what your bullets do to other people's bodies too. You know what I mean? And the courses, it helps you understand what you can take those same principles and be more lethal if you want to be, you know. So, but definitely Stop the Bleed.
Stop the Bleed, yeah. And like you were saying, tactical medicine, like you're saying, taking other considerations besides the medical element. Like, again,
absolutely.
I don't know if you remember the video I posted where it's like Chicago, the two people in the car, the two groups, they got in a shootout, and one guy fell on the ground.
Yeah.
Right? And then his friends came back and shot him while he was on the ground, and someone in the comments was saying, what do we do in this situation? Do we help the person or do we run and leave because, you know, they're coming back to shoot? And, you know, I feel like that'd be a good question for you since, you know, you being a corpsman, y'all take that into consideration. Absolutely.
Well, shit. Well, according to TEC guidelines, which is what we largely use, the number one priority in tactical medicine is to keep yourself, the rescuer, safe. Number one, me. So number two, it's keep your casualty or patient safe. But one trumps the other, which is the rescuer himself. We're not going to do any care like Medal of Honor runs out there into the battlefield running. That's not going to happen because
that's not going to happen. That's for the movies, huh?
Yeah, it's for the movies. As a matter of fact, it's a force multiplier for evil because now I'm hit, and now instead of one casualty, there's two casualties, and I'm a bigger problem now for whoever is gonna. So that's first of all, that's a no-go. If you can make the scene safe, threat suppression. If I can take my gun, my rifle, suppress the threat, or even kill the threat. That doesn't even have to be a fire. That could be a fire extinguisher. Like if it's a burning building, if I can suppress the threat, then I can consider what would be happening next. So that's more of a tactical problem right there. When you're talking about scenes like those, that is a tactical problem. Sometimes good tactics means bad medicine, unfortunately, because good medicine for that casualty would have been for everybody to stop what they're doing, run over out there and just try to tourniquet him and do whatever. But that would have likely resulted in a lot more casualties, right? So sometimes, well, always the tactical situation always takes precedent. It's always going to dictate what we're going to be able to do medically.
Yeah, that's gotta be hard, you know. It's like you want to help someone, but it's like, again, like you said, if you're the medic, shit, what's gonna happen if I get hit? You know?
Right. That's actually a harder than most people think, because naturally, now let's put yourself in it and say, all medical rescuers, anybody, a rescuer is always way too enthusiastic to save the person they're trying to save. Because imagine that your mom, right?
You know, you're gonna take all risks. You ain't gonna think about the danger.
Yeah, it sounds easy when you say but imagine most of the time it's somebody you know, somebody you're with, somebody you're acquainted with or friends with or love, and that's a completely different ball game when they're the ones that's the casualty. So guidelines, that's why you have to train this, because you what your natural instinct will tell you to do in that situation, because it'll likely get you killed and become a greater casualty. At the very least, if you get injured, you are now no good to the casualty that you're trying to save. So it's just, it breaks all the rules, but it's human nature to do so. So
yeah, if you're just getting hit, it's just honestly compounding the problem.
It is. It's compounding the problem. We gotta let good tactics take over at this point. It's either get him out of there or bust his head. If you shoot the person who is doing the shooting, that opens me up to do a whole lot more treatment. I'll tell you that much. Or if you could suppress them long enough for me to grab them, or somebody big and strong to grab them and move them somewhere safe, that opens up my window of what I'm capable of doing in that time. It's hard for me to treat somebody because, first of all, I'm going to be in the prey position, like the lions in Africa. They look down, they see, when they go to the water hole, they look to see the prey with their heads down at the watering hole. That's the ones they go to attack. That's why it's called the prey position. That's the same position you're in when you're treating casualties. That's not safe. That's not good. So you're going to want to be, either security around you, or at least move somewhere safe to open that up. And that's a tactical situation.
Yeah, civilians definitely need to take these classes, because, again, like all the videos I'd be posting, man, like it low-key be sad, kind of heartbreaking to see someone like their loved one or friend got shot, and they're just like, oh my God, help, because they don't know what the fuck to do. And the person's on the ground bleeding out, and someone just like, all someone can say is hold on, but no one's trying to stop the bleed or has a tourniquet, and this person just kind of slowly dying. People just like can't do shit about it. I mean, they can, but they just don't know they can.
They can, too. And you know what?
That's the fucked up part. They know they can, they just can't. They just don't know it.
They don't even need any tools. Half the time, they could just do good direct pressure, save their lives, slow the bleeding long enough for EMS to get there and them not die. Or, before arrival of EMS, and they don't lose so much blood. Simple as that. But with no training, there was a study, and I go over it in our tactical classes. There was a Houston trauma study done in 94 to 96. And what it showed is that, I believe, 10 or 13, forgive me, out of 15 different incidents, when a traumatic event happens in front of them, I think it's 13 out of 15 just yell and scream and say, oh my God. The other 2 out of 15 do something, whether they have training or not. They just actually might put some pressure on it, or they might go and grab them and put them in the car and evac them to the hospital themselves. That's 2 out of 15. So if we're going to stick to the numbers in general, that's going to show that that's kind of where we're at in America. And that was in 94, 96. I'm sure it hasn't gotten any better. Yep.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's why, like, again, when you come through, like, I want to, take a class or, videotape it and, promote it. Because, again, I don't know too many black people out here spreading that knowledge. We all say we need it, but I don't see too many people really either teaching it or going out looking for it.
Yep. I say we all need it. I imagine a world 2023 or something like that, and everybody is at least trained in tactical medicine. Everybody's carrying supplies so that everywhere we go, us as a community, we're all that much safer. We all know that, hey, it's just common in our community for people to carry these supplies. We all know how to utilize the contents. Just if the goal is to decrease our death rate, that certainly just by the numbers will do that. You know, I envision that day too.
But someone sent you a question. It said, when you restrict blood flow to an extremity, does the victim typically lose the extremity due to not receiving blood flow? I guess basically, if you put a tourniquet on somebody, are they going to lose that leg?
Good question. So, tourniquet, I'm going to give you, do you want the short or the long answer?
Give me your best answer.
Okay, my best answer is that depends, but likely no. Here's why. Routinely, all the data points to that if you apply a tourniquet properly and remove it within 2 hours, there's no risk of damage, or ischemic damage is what you're talking about. That's backed up by evidence of Vietnam WITMAT data that showed plenty of times where tourniquets were applied and taken off within 2 hours and nothing happened. Furthermore, doctors in America and around the world routinely put on this tourniquet when they do hand surgery. It's called making a bloodless field. When they do surgery in your hand, they don't want blood in your hand. So they put on this tourniquet, they pump it up, and they leave it on for 2 hours routinely, all the time. It's so routine that some doctors don't even consent you for it. So if it was dangerous, if there was some danger of losing a limb after applying it correctly for 2 hours, would it be happening all the time routinely in doctors' offices? No, there'd be a liability. The problem is...
Yeah, I didn't know all that. I just learned something new.
Yeah, the problem is if they're too narrow. People, when they make tourniquets, specifically improvised, or they choose a poor commercial tourniquet, the narrower the tourniquet, the greater the pressure underneath it required to occlude that blood flow. Meaning you have to turn it more. It has to be tighter, which ischemic damage. That could result in, you know, amputations. And the tourniquets back in World War II and Vietnam and all them, they were like 7/16 inch pieces of rope. They were thin. They didn't know, they didn't understand that being that thin, you know. But nowadays, with good commercial tourniquets, they account for that. They keep them the width they need to be to reduce. So no, I would say there's no risk. If put on properly and removed within 2 hours. It goes deeper than that, you know. If you have to leave it on, you can't leave it on longer. There's reperfusion injuries that have to be considered when they get taken down, potassium in the blood, all that.
Life over limb?
Yeah, but ultimately, no, that generally does not happen. I could explain at class the stories behind it being on for 6-8 hours at a time, skinny ropes. Leg gets cut off because of it, and then everybody's like, dang, we hate tourniquets because they make you have to get your leg cut off. That was just you know what I mean? That's where it got its bad rap from. They were just doing it wrong, and now we know how to do it. So there is no risk anymore. Or there is, never say never in medicine, but it is not common at all.
All right. CJ Green says, can you get sued for trying to help out in a non-shit-to-hand situation?
Yeah, if you, there's some there, so here's how it goes, and here's my disclaimer is when someone's life is on the line, especially in Florida, Johnny got this, he taught as a paramedic. There's this dang, I wish I could call it for what it's called, but if you're trying to save somebody's life from bleeding out, short of you doing paramedic level interventions, no, you're not going to get in trouble. Does that mean go around and give your wanted help? Good citizen, a good Samaritan, something like that? Yeah. Like, it's something like that.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, you can't, like, if they're unconscious, can't respond at all, can't make any decisions for themselves, and they're bleeding out on the floor. No. You know what I mean? But once again, disclaimer, if you're running around because a car accident happened and people are fine and you're giving pushy and soliciting and doing all kind of unlicensed things like needle decompressions or whatever, and you
I was about to say,
then
not allowed to
and
do
they don't
that,
even know who you are. Yeah, you know what I mean? But what I say is, when we do this training, I do all this training thinking about, I do this for my family and my friends, the people I'm gonna be around. None of those people are gonna mind me trying to save their life. I don't do it for strangers, even though it's nice to do it for strangers and everybody, because we should, and be prepared, because if everybody's prepared, it's safer, better communities. But at the end of the day, everything that I learn or would teach in this, I would want to learn it all, because if you're in some wood somewhere and your mom needs a needle thoracentesis to survive and you know how to do it, are you really going to say, because I don't have a license, that I'm not going to save my mom and I know how to do it right now? That would be dumb. You know, so just basically know the balance. Don't go running around doing it, you know, whatever. But no, there's no law against learning how to preserve your own life. I don't care. Know that stuff, all of it.
Yeah, because you did mention that. I did want to know. I've heard that before, but I guess I never got a reason why. Like, if you give someone like a decompression needle, like why? I guess it's because you're piercing the body or something.
Yeah, that's a paramedic level intervention. There's some interventions that we do teach that are paramedic level. So realistically, you're going to be practicing it more likely. That would be one of them, one of the major ones. You know, most of everything that we teach, you don't have to be any paramedic, medic, licensed, anything to do these things. Anybody can do it. You know what I mean? They're not very, and that's about 90% of what we teach. And then there's 10% that is reserved, I would say, or 15%, I would say, is reserved for medics themselves, or, you know, paramedics or whatever. Because once we start getting into surgical airways, which we teach surgical airways, and needle thor, then I would say, you know, don't get me wrong, if I need it, if someone needed it and they weren't licensed and we're off in the woods and it's my family and we're camping and we're miles off the route and there's no evacuation and that needs to be done, shoot, make that airway. You know what I mean? Don't let them die because some law, you know, but don't be in the city running around cutting people's throats open, saying, "No, don't worry, I took that class for Northwest Tactical. It's good."
That guy. Like, oh.
No,
that's fucking hilarious.
For real.
All right. Let's see if anyone got any more questions. Hey guys, if y'all got any medical questions, I know there's only 7 of y'all. If y'all got any medical questions, it's Destiny. If you got any questions or anything. You know, okay. CJ Green says, what kind of tourniquet? He said it ghetto though, but what kind of tourniquet is great? Because you say you got the wrong ones.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. I would just recommend what the Committee on Tactical Combat Casualty Care recommends. They do a lot of research on them. Yeah, cat tourniquet, #1. It has the most evidence right now supporting its use. I could break down all the numbers, the 97% and the 73% on thighs or whatever, but if you'll take my word for it, just know the research has been done thoroughly. Cat tourniquets have the most evidence supporting its use in people, in combat, in practice, in training, and all of it. Then there are 3 other recommended tourniquets. They've been tested and studied.
I didn't like the soft T wide, because to me the cat tourniquet was more one hand friendly. Yeah, you're right. And those were 2 that were, the soft T and the soft T wide were recommended, and I believe, I'm gonna go, I hate to say this on live, even though I think I'm right, because I'm not trying to get stomped in the nuts by the Committee on TCCC, but I think they removed the soft T from their tourniquet recommendations list, and replaced them with 3 other tourniquets, and they show promise. That's the ratcheting medical tourniquet, the combat medical tourniquet. Yeah, the combat medical tourniquet, the ratchet medical tourniquet, and the TMT, the RMT, and
It'll come to me, but now that makes 4 that are on the list of recommended by the Committee on TECC and TCCC. CAT being the top of it, the RMT, the TMT, and the other one that'll come to me later. And yeah,
I want to check out that ratchet one. I think that ratchet tourniquet would be dope. I think that's good.
Yeah, I want to do a video breakdown. I just don't own one, telling exactly how it's used and showing people the benefits of this system, but also its weak points and its downfalls. Because I know the downfalls and the benefits, and comparing it to just when it comes to the material, its mechanism of moving, having to ratchet down if you have to release it, and how that affects the tactical situation. I just don't own any right now, so I can't break it down. But yeah. But they're good. They're dope. They really are. Oh, what's it? It's the SAM XT. That's what it is. The SAM XT, the ratcheting medical tourniquet, and the tactical medical tourniquet, along with the CAT, are the 4 that are on the recommended list. And for good reason, the data points to it.
That they work. Alright, so
yeah.
This is also important. Where can they get legitimate tourniquets? Because I know people can go on Amazon and be like, oh, tourniquet, I get like 5 of them for $20. No, those are not they're gonna fail you. Yeah.
So that's a great question. That's so important, like super important. It's so important. It's more important than you think. Them fake tourniquets, and I'm calling them fake. Okay, so China has 5 companies that manufacture CAT tourniquets. They're all almost exactly like CAT tourniquets, but they'll have one minor detail. The stitching might go all the way to the top. It might be missing something over here, but they all look very, very convincing. None of them have the same flaw, and there's 5 companies that do them. It's so serious that we used to hate them in Iraq, because depending on when you deployed, the tourniquets that we were using, the CATs, were breaking. And we stopped trusting them. We were like, fuck these tourniquets. You know what I mean? I'm going to go back to using improvise. Come to find out that some sergeant, probably budgeting logistics sergeant, saw a bunch of them, ordered them, thought they were CAT tourniquets. Wow. They made it in U.S. military inventory. You know what I mean? Like, that's how slick those motherfuckers are. They you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for those. Go straight to the manufacturer or a trusted IFAC dealer who you know goes and gets their items from the manufacturer. There is no other way to guarantee it. That's not the only example. They've made it into civilian EMS. There's a story in, I want to say, Indiana, where a paramedic on the road, he has a casualty, he's applying a tourniquet, the tourniquet failed. He managed to control the bleeding in the back of the ambulance, but not till after it failed, like we used to be used to them. He called North American Rescue and said, hey, your tourniquet, it didn't work, it failed. They said, send it to me, you know? They examined it, hit him back up and said, hey, this is not our tourniquet. You know what I mean? So it's not just paranoia, it's actually happened in the U.S. and in the U.S. military, getting these fake tourniquets. So the only recommendation is to go directly to the manufacturer or to a IFAC, person who makes IFACs, who you know is trusted for getting their supplies directly from the manufacturer. I get mine from Noor Armory. He's a physician out of Baton Rouge. Tactical physician, done training together, and he makes really good IFACs with people's budgets in mind. Like at one point he had it way too low. I'm like, bro, like can you even afford to put these IFACs together at this price? I know how much each piece costs individually. I know that tourniquet is somewhere between $30 and $35. I know that piece of C-locks over there is also between $35 and $40, and I'm like, man, that's expensive. But he does it because he wants people to have them, to be prepared. So I go to Noor Armory on Instagram. If I don't get them from Noor Armory, then I go straight to a manufacturer. And that's it.
Okay. And you don't sell any medical items, like just plug you in?
No, I don't sell medical items because
Just
honestly,
classes?
I hate everything. I don't want to endorse nothing. I only go with what works in the moment. Something else better pops up, I'm gonna say that one's crappy. So I'm not a suitable seller because I think everything sucks. That's just how I feel. But I go with the numbers. I go with the data. I go with experience. So that's good enough.
Okay. CJ
Yeah,
got a lot of
North
questions.
American Rescue website for legit stuff. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
CJ says, does your classes have any herbal remedies, like for the field?
Oh man, I would love to add that, but as of right now, nah. We don't have any, which is dope because I can imagine myself getting really versed in that department and adding it to the field craft. Tactical medicine.
Matt the Shaman.
Yeah, because that's important. That's an important question because when in regards to field medicine, which is my specialty, is field medicine, I never really picked up too much on the herbs. I mean, I know how to deal with a lot of the things that ail you with being out in the field. That's everything from trauma to your feet to hygiene to sanitation, all that stuff, being in that type of field craft. But I never really learned the plant portion of it. And I think that would grow on me, and I would learn it really fast and implement that in our field craft medical training.
Yeah, because again, that would be very important. Shit hit the fan situation. Let's say you can't get those medical items. Like, how do you? I guess if you had the ability to grow some medical items, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Now, we do teach you how to use the environment. There's a lot of things for trauma that you can use out in the environment. Sticks to shirts, rags. There's a lot of stuff that you can use to pack wounds that are in the environment, including dirt if you have to, with other leaves and things. So what we teach at the end of the day, you take those principles because you're going to learn the principles of it, not just how we do it, but there's always a principle behind it that if you say, okay, that's just how they do it. But if I take that same principle and use my brain and apply it another way, it's going to be good too. It may not be as effective as our way, but it's better than sitting around doing nothing because you don't necessarily know what the principles of, managing these things, these traumas. Then all you got to do is be smart after you know the principles, and you'll do some MacGyver shit. Yep.
But definitely. For the new people, I don't see if they got any questions. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm trying to see if they got any questions. But shit. Yeah, you got me distracted. But damn, what was I gonna say?
Yeah.
All right, so if you had to pick one medical piece of equipment that I guess you could not live without, like you absolutely need, what would it be?
A tourniquet.
Tourniquets up. I feel you. I agree on that. I definitely keep at least two in my car. Because 2 is 1 is none.
Exactly. 2 tourniquets to be exact. That'd be the minimum if I couldn't have anything. Obviously, you'd be limited in the amount of care you could do. There's certain wound patterns and profiles that you would not be able to treat with a tourniquet. But
like airways type stuff.
Yeah, but you sure can treat a lot of different ones if you do it. So by sheer numbers, the fact that we have a diagram showing that about 64% of casualties, this is based off of like a 20,000 casualty studies from some foreign war. Some physician kept all the numbers, and it turned out that about 64% generally get their gunshot wounds to the upper thigh. So there's a whole other 30-something percentage or something like that, 40% out there that you can't treat with a tourniquet, but knowing that that's 60% at least lets you know that your chances are highest of treating something with a tourniquet. to the upper leg. So I would at least have that.
What about like an emergency bandage? Because I know you can use that like to treat massive bleeding and also make like a makeshift tourniquet as well. So with something like that.
Emergency bandage? Which
yeah, like an Israeli bandage.
So there's three names for emergency trauma dressing, Israeli bandage, or pressure dressing. They're all the same thing. They got different names for political reasons. You know, we used to send them Israeli bandages to Iraq. And when you send Israeli things, Muslim countries through the mail, they don't like it too much. So yeah, different names. But you cannot control massive bleeding with one of those. You can't. Contrary to popular belief, pressure dressings will not generate enough pressure to control true massive bleeding of war wounds, stuff like that. They do generate a good amount of pressure. They do keep wounds clean, and they help you dress them and keep them from getting infected later on. But if someone is hit and they're bleeding very impressively, like that, oh shit type
right?
You feel me?
Shit, they're leaking.
Oh yeah, like that, like ooh, like super bad, like oh, I think he might got 30 seconds, type deal, 15 seconds. Well then, the only thing that's gonna stop that is good direct pressure, a certain technique, or a tourniquet. And if the tactical situation requires you to have your hands free, like a fire extinguisher or a radio or a pistol in your hand, then you're gonna have to have a tourniquet. That's how it is.
Yeah, this medical shit ain't no joke. You gotta make a lot of tough decisions.
Yeah. It's a lot of decision making on the ground. A lot of different considerations that it might look one way to somebody on the outside looking on the ground, but only that person there, after knowing what they know, can really make the calls on what they're going to, because it's so dynamic. It's so much going on that, hey, like we said, keep yourself safe. At the end of the day, you might have to decide to let that person die. That is a tactical decision that you have to contemplate making. Because ultimately, you cannot sacrifice your life in exchange for the, you know what I mean? That's not how it goes. You're just gonna get top two. There's no one for one.
This isn't a video game or a movie where it's like you're like the main character that's guaranteed to live.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the tough thing. Like, you might have to decide to let them die. You might decide to mass casualties. We're talking about one casualty, but how much medical equipment and how prepared are we to deal with a Buffalo shooting where there's 9 or 10 casualties? Even medics, even officers, when they arrive on scene, they're going to have some gloves, maybe some gauze, and one tourniquet. Even if 3 of them show up, 4 of them, what about the other 6 of them? What if you have 1 or 2? There's still, what if they have different wound profiles? Mass casualties. We have to start thinking about how we're going to move when it comes to treating mass casualties, which is a whole different ballgame. You got to triage and say, hey, I got to use these medical supplies on you because based off what I know, it's a survivable wound if you get treatment by me now. You, on the other hand, there's nothing I can do for you pre-hospital. If I spend time trying to treat you, do anything other than get you evacuated, have somebody get you to a hospital, I'm wasting time on somebody I can't help. And ultimately, that person that I could have helped lost their shot. So these are decisions that you got to make right there on the ground as well.
They said like they made us do in boot camp.
Yep. Battle stations.
I remember that, like that word triage,
Yep. Very important. Very important that we understand that aspect. This all comes together. Everything comes together if performed in sync. All these considerations. What does it do? Ultimately, why learn this? The data shows that since implementing all these guidelines, all these considerations, understanding triage, understanding all these things, these best practices, the death rate in combat and in active violent events have gone from 1 dead and 4 wounded, meaning 4 people get wounded, 1 dies out of that 4. And now it's 1 dead to between 9 and 10 wounded. That means now 9 or 10 people have to die have to get shot and wounded for each death. 1. You see that ratio difference? 1 to 4, 1 to 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't save everybody, but that's a big increase in survivability. That's
I noticed that. Like if you look at Chicago shootings, it'll be like 56 people shot, but 6 died. You know?
Yes.
So it's like,
start paying attention to ratios. Now, it's not always going to be the same, but all the numbers have been added up with so many different large data pools. Vietnam was used. Different wars and civilian studies have been done with a lot of good data. And it points to that's generally the ballpark of what it is, you know. And then active violent events indoors generally be 1-for-1s. Like for every 1 dead, there's 1 wounded. So like, generally when like a school happens or a club, you know what I mean, somewhere inside, it gets closer to 1-to-1. But that's why we want to learn this, is because we want that number. If we all know this in our communities, that means in our communities that 1 in 4 will change to 1 in 10. That's all.
That's a big.
That's why we want to know.
6 more people who die.
That's it. That's why we want to know how to do it. Can't save everybody, but hey, I know the goal.
You probably save the majority of them. Because I forgot what number statistic where it's like, especially when people have been shot by pistols, like 90% of them are still alive after being shot.
Oh, it's crazy. To be honest with you, pistols are very, very survivable wounds. It's gonna probably piss you off if you find out why. You see in our communities a lot of times you'll see people dying from these pistol wounds that were ultimately survivable. Usually that's because of poor evacuation time. Unlike if you had a quick, swift reaction, they're completely survivable. I think it's about, there was a study done in Los Angeles, the penetrating trauma, 2,900 casualties. 1,300 of the casualties were stabbed in the torso. The other 1,700 and something shot, pistol wounds. Some of them, I think it was like 256 had, don't correct me if I'm wrong, had even penetrating trauma to the heart in that study. And out of those 1,700 pistol casualties at Los Angeles, I think it was like 200 people died. Yeah. So with that being said, that should tell you that now rifles are a completely different thing. That's civilian Los Angeles pistols going to them. Now once you add rifles, that's a whole different ball game. It's nowhere near the same. But that should tell you is that pistol wounds are very survivable, and if treated properly and evacuated in a timely fashion, those numbers should be pretty good. You know what I mean? But they're not reflecting right now what they should be.
That's good information to know, because again, like a lot of people don't know that. You know, again, that's why, you know, if you come to my class and whatnot, I teach follow-up shots, multiple shots, because one pistol shot normally is not going to do the job, especially nowadays when people have access to Percocets, Xanax, fentanyl, crack, mop, you know. But they're not feeling nothing nowadays. They don't feel nothing. So you're definitely multiple rounds, because again, one pistol round isn't going to do enough damage to the human body to really shut it down or to stop it. So all you're doing is putting holes, like poking holes in a water balloon. Eventually, if you poke enough holes, it's going to run out of water. That's basically what you're doing a pistol.
Locs just said the truth. I'm going to tell you the science behind it, but he said the exact truth. That's why you need to train, because there's only FBI and Fackler and all these people did a study on incapacitating people. There's two forms of incapacitating in a fight: psychological and physical incapacitation. That's mental incapacitation, and then there's actually being stopped. The only way to actually stop someone that you could measure by model 100% is by major disruption incapacitating the central nervous system. That's the only guarantee that you're putting someone out of the fight. Everything else depends on that person's mood that day. They might want to fight today, they might not want to fight the next day. They might be on drugs today, they might not. But most fights are won with law enforcement. Psychologically, they pull up, they pull out guns, they say freeze, put your hands up, nobody gets hurt, nobody gets shot. They psychologically incapacitated them. But you can't guarantee that that's going to work, that you're going to psychologically incapacitate somebody by pulling a fire out on somebody. Not a good model. Likewise, the only two ways to drop somebody is central nervous system disruption that passes through both sides of the brain, not just one. Because if I damage one side, the other side can control the other, and I can still, even if everything went dead, I can still use the other side. That's guarantee number one. Or hemorrhagic shock. Hemorrhagic shock. That's why Locs teaches you guys to go for what we call the jugular, this lethal triangle right here. It's the from nipple to jugular notch, has your heart and major vasculature in it. That, if disrupted, could cause you to bleed enough to not get enough oxygen and sugar to your brain. And when your brain doesn't get enough oxygen and sugar, you pass out, you get incapacitated. That's what you're ultimately trying to do. You're trying to pop out, make blood come out real quick so that they get lightheaded and pass out. And then if it keeps on going, they die. Or you have to hit them right in their central nervous system. So that's why being accurate with your shots is most important, more important than anything. Because it doesn't matter where you hit them. If you're just poking little holes, you're not stopping them. If I feel like fighting you, I can fight you all day with all kind of holes in me. I'll fire every bullet that's in that I got with every gun. As long as I have that mindset, you're not going to take me out. You're going to have to really stop me. You're going to have to really hit me, make blood,
straight up kill that person. That's the only way.
Absolutely. And you never know who you're going to get, so you should always prepare and train for being able to incapacitate them physically by hitting them in the right spots to go ahead and do that. Failure drills, essentially.
Like I tell people, like center mass is your first target. If you cannot get a center mass hit, or let's say it's not incapacitating the target, then you'll move to the head, and then if that doesn't work, you'll move to the hips. And I tell people the reason why, like, again, you move to the center mass is the biggest target in the human body, and then it's that water balloon effect. You're poking holes, as many holes as you can, again, leak. It's like shutting down a machine.
That's exactly what it's doing. It's shutting down that machine.
Right, so if you bleed out all the oil in your car won't start.
Yeah.
If you move to the engine, you take out the engine, the car won't start. Now, if you take the wheels out of the car won't move. So,
yep. And the funny thing about this, like I said, it doesn't take long for your brain to start feeling like it's not getting enough blood. You'll sit down once that blood starts leaking out. You'll go from standing to kneeling to sitting to on your ass real quick if you put them shots right in the right spot in that chest. That blood is going to be coming out quite fast, and it won't matter what type of time I'm on, how lit I am. My brain doesn't care how lit I am. It's not getting enough oxygen and sugar because the blood is coming out from that chest so much that I can't fight no matter what, and that's what we want.
You remember that video of the security guard where the guy got shot in the neck? He was still trying to kill the security guard, and he's gushing out of the neck. What
country?
It was a foreign country, but the video was up not too long ago. I posted it on my page. Like, the security guard was in the bank or something, or some store, and the guy came running out of the corner, shooting at him, The security guard luckily got a shot or two off, hit him in the neck.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I sure do. I know what you're talking about. That was one of those stories of when the robber got his ass bust.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Perfect example like that. It was, again, multiple shots, because, again, that guy the suspect was shot in the neck, bleeding out, a fatal wound. But he had, like, 15 seconds to still chase that officer around. He chased the dude around the counter to the back, shooting at him while he's bleeding out of his neck. Eventually, when he tried to leave, that's when the effect started, but it was a full, like, 15 seconds that he still had to engage the guy, shoot him, and then try to leave before that blood loss took effect, and you see him just full.
You hit it right on the nose. There's an old saying, a Western term, that says every man will have his 10. And that's based off of a principle that when you at high noon, you turn around and you dual shoot it out. Even if I blow a hole in the middle of your chest, you still have about 10 seconds to get your issue off too. Does that make sense? You still gonna have, no matter how much. Now, if you want to bitch up and lay down on the ground and say, "Oh, I've been shot," that's on you. But some people are still going to chase you around in that 10 and 15 seconds and can kill you in that time. They're lit, you know what I mean? So unless you incapacitate them, all that does is you're just, you know what I mean? They got at least 10, everybody. That's across the board, no 5 by 6. Oh, what Jarvis be doing, that's the man right there. That's the man right there.
No?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been watching him, following him for the longest, and I watched him win his fights, and I like what he stands for. I watched the Hood Heroes. I'm impressed, very much so impressed by him.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check him out, see what's up.
Yeah, very community activist. That's what he is, for real. I don't know if that's what he calls himself, but that's what I've been watching and seeing. I haven't seen him call himself that, but definitely that's what he is.
Yeah, I appreciate any man out there helping the community.
And he's a boxer. He's raw too. Like, that's why I got on to watching him. He's whooping people's asses. Yeah, he's whooping people's asses. Yeah.
What's up, Jarvis? Shit, I might have Jarvis on here. We could meet Jarvis.
Oh yeah, that's who you need
talk about
to
self-defense. And self-defense with your hands.
Yep, you need to talk to him. And he's in Chicago. That mobbing like that in Chicago.
So
you know what I mean? He's in Chicago doing hood heroes, being active in the hood in Chicago. Come on, like that's not a small thing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up? All right. Trying to think of any more questions. You know.
Oh, the doc, B-Man, 2-Man, he joined. That's who actually runs Nor Armory. He's shown up on here. I don't know when he joined. What up, Doc? What's going on?
Okay.
Rescuer's up. Rescuer's up.
Is he another medic?
He's a physician. Attached. So he does what I do, but he's a physician. So yeah. So you got all that too.
He said, "I'm a doctor."
Doctor. Yeah. He's the one that makes who puts together the IFACs though. He's a good brother, I'm telling you. Like,
he sells medical equipment?
Yeah, you got to go visit norarmory.com or check out Nor Armory on Instagram, or TacMedMD is another page of his. But he has his IFACs. He also does training in the Louisiana area. He's in Baton Rouge. He practices out there, but yeah, he does work with the NAGA organizations, and he came out and trained in Houston with us, as a matter of fact. And he's out there teaching and spreading the same information that we're trying to spread here, so that the communities will be prepared. He's got Louisiana, and that's good because we don't have a lot of people that. And when I tell you, he shows love, like he's up. So, yeah, Is red dot better for self-defense or iron sights? Locks, that's definitely a you. Because I don't have a red dot. I want one now. They finally got me. I've watched enough. I'm persuaded now.
If you ask me, red dot is better just because there's multiple reasons. But the first one is it allows you to focus on the target. With iron sights, you have to focus on the front sight, right? In a situation where you're shooting somebody, that's kind of a lot to do. So it's easier to focus on the target, bring the rifle or pistol into your sight picture, into your sight, whatever, and then put a simple red dot on the target and squeeze the trigger. So definitely red dot. That's why you see every military rifle, law enforcement rifle, they all have some kind of optic on there, you know. So
right on.
Definitely have some kind of red dot. It helps. Can you do it with iron sights? Yes. There are plenty of people who have died from iron sights.
Yep.
It's just easier to do it with the red dot. Hopefully that answers that question.
I could see it as being way more valuable, like trying to treat a casualty and all of a sudden you have to stop what you're doing to get back tactical. The ability to acquire something really quick.
Especially one-handed, right? Especially you got to apply pressure with one hand, you got to engage with the other hand. It's easier to do. Just put a red dot on that target and engage.
And there's a lot of times as a single rescuer where being able to master the skills of doing those things one-handed, being able to free up and do that, invaluable. That's why I'm getting one. I'm gonna get one. Fuck it. Yeah, I need to get one.
Hey, shit! You see me? I got one of my 43X. You know?
Yeah, I know. I love that one. That's the one I wanted for my EDC. When you got it, I was like,
I like
exactly
it,
how I wanted it.
It's
exactly how I wanted it. 43X with the red dot for my EDC. Yep.
Alright. How long we been on? I've still had a counter, so I know how long I've been on. I feel like it's been at least half an hour.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You know when you get to talking, like time flies by.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, damn, we've been talking for 2 hours. Like shit. But yeah.
Did you just take that one out? Are you playing that one?
No, I'm updating it, adding some new stuff to it.
Oh, okay.
It's just this fucking screw is a pain in the ass. This little M-lock rail shit.
Okay. Oh yeah, that little screw that has that little piece in the back, and you gotta line it up correctly and twist it.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't do it evenly. One side's gonna get tight, the other's not.
Yep.
That shit's annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna start making this. This is gonna be my baby. Eventually, I'm gonna get fuck me. I'm gonna get a fuck me. But I'm gonna get a folding brace so I can fold this bitch on me.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be suppressed. Yeah, it's gonna be suppressed and it folds.
Are you gonna be able to put it in the backpack?
Oh, hey, I definitely will. Okay. Hey, Doc. Hey. There's another one. Hey, Dexter. Jerome Peggins, y'all.
What's going on?
Another black medical professional who I'm gonna have on. I'm gonna go live with too eventually to spread more medical knowledge. But yeah, you and Dexter are like the two I know, like in the black community for medical knowledge.
That's who.
I don't know what happened to Tactical Taylor. I guess his page got taken down.
Oh, Taylor Defense.
Oh yeah, Taylor Defense.
Oh, I don't think it's got taken. Well, I haven't heard anything of it getting taken down. I know that there was a spat where it was happening a lot, back to back. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, that brother's on there. I'm good. Yes, sir. Good. That I actually, he's probably the fella that inspired me to even put out information like this. I watched Dexter Peggins on Instagram, and I seen him train in the communities and out there, and I was like, wow, man, I like that right there. And it pushed me in that direction, because I was all about I was more on the tactical time at the time, but I was like, man, you know what, I like what this brother's doing right here. It's much needed too. Yeah, he's been everywhere teaching in the communities. I first heard about Naga through him, or coming out of from him, or whatever like that. Hopefully I get an opportunity, speaking of Naga, Doc, the Santa, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth or anything like that, but I'm supposed to talk with the VP of Naga and chapter in San Antonio, Texas, about doing some tactical medical care training out there. So hopefully that goes good, and I'm excited to do that. But yeah, I learned about them.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That'd be dope. Yeah, you and Naga could work on something.
Yep.
Try to put all my people on, you know what I mean? He says you're his inspiration as well.
Oh yeah, we just bounce off each other. We see shit that each other does, and then it's like, oh, cool.
It's one thing I've been thinking of that would honestly help out in the community. You remember when we went to, was it, I think Louisville, NFAC the first time?
Yeah.
And they had I remember, like, I was out sick from the heat and shit. There's a whole bunch of us out from the heat. They had the street medic people there.
Yeah.
They're like, granted, it was kind of weird that all of them, just like, I was like, why is this group of white people here? But they was helping us out.
Man, I never forgot. I always was like, are these the fans? Like, who are these people? Like, I was like, who are these people the whole time? I was like, who gave? It seemed like they had some approval.
Right. And so it was funny because but I did. I was laying on the ground, just like sick as hell, trying to drinking that Pedialyte, trying to get life back in me. Yeah. I was like, what if we had this in the hood? We have like those hood parties where the whole hood be out. What if we had like 6 people or something, or 6 to 10 people who was out there, with medical gear on, and they had like a vehicle to designate it for an ambulance. Just because shit happens at these parties. They were just there, right?
Yeah, especially at these, yeah.
So I was thinking about that on the ground, like how dope that would be if we could have something like that in the community.
Well, that points back to, and I'm glad you said that, is the reason why people in those communities don't survive is because they don't get care given to them for a long time before reaching the hospital. There's nobody that's taking their lives seriously enough to make sure they get pre-hospital care. And that's the difference between making it and not making it, is the pre-hospital care. And we don't have none of that. Not much of that. And then when people come to respond, a lot of certain communities, that response is slower or with less urgency. The pre-hospital care is not taken as seriously. So it would be nice to have people around that values everybody there's life and would give them their all, just like anybody else, pre-hospital. That would change the game.
Right, because I believe, the fight is gonna take at least a few minutes, 2-3 minutes. Even if the ambulance is down the street, it's still gonna take at least 2-3 minutes for you to make a call, then notify these people, get things going, and then get down the road. In that time, you could have picked them up, throw them in the back of a truck bed or something, and been driving to a level 1 trauma center.
Absolutely.
You could have called the hospital, called medical, like, hey, we're on our way to St. Vincent Memorial Hospital with a gunshot victim to the chest. And now medical people are there waiting for y'all, and the time of waiting and everything is cut.
They're already prepping the surgery. If you already tell them, hey, they're gonna need surgery, I already know the only way they're gonna survive this is if you crack their chest, they'll play open. Get the surgeon in position. They're already cleaning stuff up, putting on gloves, waiting for you to arrive. Average response time for EMS in a good situation is gonna be around the 10-minute mark, because first, law enforcement's got to come and secure the scene. EMS is not going to run up in there until law enforcement shows up, secures the scene, has guns pointed, all outboard, making it safe for them. Then EMS is going to come in. And then 5 times out of 10, all EMS is going to do is try to rush you to the hospital instead of doing any type of bleeding control or treatment. So that's even more time, that 10 minutes plus that 5-minute ride, that's 15 minutes of getting no control, no image control, no treatment, as opposed to right then and there on scene getting pre-hospital treatment, you get what I'm saying, getting things
right. So it's like at no point in time, like from the moment the person gets hit, like within seconds they're getting treated, blood control, not only from the moment they get hit but into the moment they get transferred off to the medical professionals.
That's what survive or not survive.
Right.
I mean, that's a big, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but that's one of the greatest factors that's going to influence the survival rate. The biggest difference is that somebody being there, because it doesn't take, let's just say, imagine, if we know it only takes 30 seconds to bleed out from a major arterial, give or take, it's not always that, sometimes 2 minutes, a minute, just give or take. But we know it can happen. So we know that there is some sort of clock ticking, whether it's going to be 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour. Once these traumatic events start happening, if you're lucky, you have more time. If you're lucky, you have an hour. Or if you're lucky, you have 30 minutes. You don't know what that is, that number is. So it's best to go ahead and take care of it now. You know what I mean? And if you take care of it now, you good.
Facts. And that's honestly what I've been thinking, you know, like, because you think, like, again, you said you can't save everybody, but I feel like you can honestly probably cut the murder rates or death rates almost in half.
Yes.
If you had that level of treatment right then and there from start to end, and if they would just, again,
over half. Over half.
Yeah.
Like 2.3 per times, according to numbers. Over at like 60%. Yep, for sure. Really would.
And that's just something I've been thinking about sometimes. Like, damn, I wish I had like your level of medical knowledge, because I would start something like that. But it's like my level is just very kind of basic, you know. So it would be nice to have someone like you, like someone had a real serious like airway problem, and like that, like a chest seal and an NPA just ain't gonna solve.
Yep.
I'm kind of stuck, you know. It's like I'm like shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
So like someone like you would kind of like okay, we're gonna do an emergency tracheotomy. You know,
we do that. We teach that too. Like if that needed to happen, you know, it's actually quite simple, to be honest with you. It's not complicated at all, and it doesn't require expensive tools at all. I could use like a pin to breach the membrane and my pocket knife. I use a pocket knife and a pin and create a surgical airway. I could cut the membrane. I could poke through that membrane. I could unscrew the pin where the ink, get rid of the ink part and use that tube part, put it in there for an airway. It's just by knowing the principle. It's really not hard. Is it a paramedic level intervention or higher? Yes. Unless you're in the military and you're a medic or a corpsman in the military, you're not going to be doing that unless you're a paramedic. But like I said, if that needed to happen, and it was, say, you're doing security at an event and you need an emergency airway, I'm certain that you're not going to sue me or fuck me up for saving your life. I would most certainly, instead of allowing you to not get the air to your brain because that airway obstruction, I would just cut the hole, go ahead and let it pass, and you breathe and be fine. I would do it.
Okay. So, like, I guess the question, like, for me is, like, if you do tracheotomy on someone, like, do they have to, does that ever heal, or are they just now have that little microphone to the throat type shit?
No. It's just a little membrane. That stuff will heal. He'll heal up.
Okay. Because I thought, like, once you do that, it's like...
cut mark, but you're not going to have a permanent
You don't have to eat through a tube and shit.
Yeah, not like that. No.
Because that was like my impression is like if you do that, it's like, oh shit, now this person can't breathe through a tube, they can't talk or some shit. It's
no,
like
you'll be whole again. Quite
okay.
It is invasive, hole and opening a passageway straight into your lungs, and but that's about it. It's just a neat little thin membrane spot located right here, where there's really nothing blocking you to your airway anatomy, but this little thin membrane. You know what I mean? So if there was something obstructing you, then you most certainly would just cut in there, put a tube in there, and call it a day. That would be a quick action. Obviously, I would take you to the hospital, and you would eventually get more definitive care, more than that MacGyver. But that would, imagine, you can hold your breath, probably survive. Houdini survived up to 5-6 minutes max, right? So if it takes 15 minutes for you to get to the hospital and you have an airway obstruction, you would have survived if somebody would have just cut that little hole in that 4 or 5 minutes and got you to more definitive care, where they can be like, oh, this is an easy problem to fix here in the hospital. But you don't get that much time. Everything's a time limit, so we need good pre-hospital care. Doc, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot. I feel like it's gonna get a little live. I just hit the button to see what the fuck would happen.
You never go live, so I was like, man, look at that.
That's what I'm saying. I never go live, but just like again, like that's why I want to start going live with people, so it's not like I'm just sitting here talking to myself, or to be people like cleaning their guns, not even saying nothing. It's like, okay, why am I here?
You need to put Sav on. I thought he was gonna pop up.
Put on who?
Sav.
Sav?
Chris.
Oh. Is he in here?
He was at some point. I seen him.
Nah, yeah, he's not in here.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, I feel like we had a good little live, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to get all the questions out of you, but definitely we're gonna go live again. I'm gonna find like more specific questions, like hey, ask a medical person like questions, and we'll just answer them.
Okay, for sure. If anybody wants to doesn't want to wait, you can always sign up for Stop the Bleed class online. Now we have our Stop the Bleed online and our tactical medical care, which is our step up. That's when we put the tactical in. It's now available online. A lot of it, all this information, or a lot of it, is disseminated on this online course. So if you're more of a behind the screen learner, there's videos that accompany it, there's demonstrations, there's all the numbers, and it's presented via Zoom. So it's like I said, it's not too expensive at all. Like I think Stop the Bleed is only $99. The TAC Med is whatever they had it at, one something. And we can turn you into knowing all this stuff. It's no problem. You, Locs, we got to get together and just do it. We just got to run the TAC Med course. We just got to run it. You just got to come through and let's run it like we did in Houston.
I know. I got to find time to travel and get out. Like once I can, man, definitely. Once I can find time, I can find time to get out there, bro. I definitely would be out there. Like I almost want to sell my car, and get one of those Sprinter vans. That way I can be on the road.
That's what I'm talking about. For real, that's what I want to do.
And I just be on the road and I'll just go wherever I want. Like at that point, I would always be like just teaching classes. I probably have like a remote job or something. But yeah, I'd just be like going from city to city, state to state, teaching classes.
That's what it be, Yep. Hey, it would be a sick course combined, because we do our thing, but y'all really do y'all thing. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that'd be
live fire with the tag.
That's what I would love for if I could get all the short bus guys. If I get all the short bus guys like who wanted like to go in instruction like that, that'd be so dope. Because like I know, bro, like the way we do stuff, bro, we would have one of the dopest trainings. Not only in Jacksonville, but just like
you could take that
in all of Florida.
You should take that on the road. That combined, would be. I would call that like making the total shooter out of that whole training session is.
We're gonna end up. I feel like we would end up on some government watch list. The government would be like, okay, listen, the shit y'all doing.
That's why we can't do that. They're like, that's too much.
Like, I see what y'all doing. Listen, y'all doing the most right now. Like, get your door kicked in if you want to.
Oh man, for real though.
It's like, y'all motherfuckers. Alright. Trying to see what I'm doing. I'm working on this. So I want to put this 1 to 8 on my burn, and then I can have this up here for a red dot. So I might move the back here in the middle, so it's more centered. Yeah. And that way, like my burn, I can use it to shoot out 300 yards, and then I can use for CQB with that red on top. What does it say? What does this guy say? What the fuck, CJ? What the fuck? No. It says, how can one join the short bus? To be honest, you don't join short bus. Like, we invite you. Like, we have to see, you shooting. So no, that's why I tell people, post your videos, and you shooting and the stuff you have. Because again, if you're not, I don't want to say as good as us, but if you're not kind of doing what we're doing,
that's what
it's gonna hinder the training, because we're gonna have to stop, get you up to speed, and then do the training, and that's gonna take a lot of time. So we honestly, to really get into it, you have to get a recommendation from somebody who's already short bus. To be honest, that's how some of the other guys got in. They were recommended by either me or Keith or Eric or Vince, and then they, we went off the recommendations. They came out more than once. That's the thing. You gotta. This isn't just like come out one time and then it's like, oh, I shot with short bus one time, so I can say I'm short bus. We're out there a lot, and we're out there a long time, and we're out there doing uncomfortable stuff. Like, we went out to land nav and we got lost for 10 miles. 10 miles land nav, but that is in full kit and everything. That is not fun. That shit sucks.
Damn, y'all got lost for 10 miles?
10 miles, bro, and Keith is sitting there telling us like, nah, man, it's only been like 6 miles or something. But like, I can feel it in my legs, bro. Like, my legs is telling me like, bro, this is no way this is 6 miles.
So you know how we make it dope? Now imagine having casualties.
That, man, you be thinking like, listen, bro, I like you, but you be thinking of triage real quick.
You ain't gonna make it, bro. We just gonna leave you here.
No, fuck that, bro. It's just my ankle. I can make it. That's some funny shit. But yeah, bro, we got lost for 10 fucking miles. We was out there for 7 hours. Like, it was supposed to be 3 and 3 back, so 6 total. And so when he's telling us like, oh no, we're right on schedule, we're not, like, we didn't just walk a mile and a half, right? Because it's like we walked so long that I would zone out, and then I would come back to, and then like the landscape would be different. But we'd be in the woods, and now we're in the swamp. We're in the swamp, and now we're in the woods, and it's like, all right, this is full
kit on. You be having full kit
with the little pack on and everything, and I'm just like, he's like, oh, that was 0.5 miles. I'm like, we've been walking for 45 minutes. There's no fucking way that has 0.5. It's it was a test. I'll put it like that, bro. That shit was a test.
Yeah.
Because I never did no shit like that. That's why I joined the Navy for a reason.
Yeah, they tricked me, fool. I joined the Navy to go on a ship and kick it.
And they tricked me with the Marines. I was like, oh, hell no. You got me. Later, so.
He's like, oh shit, he actually signed it. That shit's funny. What he says. CJ, you gonna have to get over that shit, to be honest. But I tell you what, if the police pull up and like y'all got a bunch of guns, police are normally, take it from me and Matt's experience, we know what it's like when the police pull up and there's a bunch of black people with guns outside. The police are very nice. Right?
They're very nice. I'm trying to tell you, they're very nice. Absolutely nice. They really are.
And don't let them be outnumbered too. They're some of the nicest motherfuckers you've ever met. You always be wondering, it's like police brutality. These people are so nice. What's going on? Remember, it's like, okay, that's right. They don't want this smoke. That's why. It's like these niggas drove all the way from Duval. They came all the way from Duval just for some shit. That's funny.
Really? Oh, Atlanta comes to mind.
Bro, yeah, Atlanta. That's the funny thing, bro. That's the funny thing. Like, a lot of people know about all the formations, but not many people know about Atlanta. Bro, Atlanta was wild, but Atlanta was something else. It was a lot going on that night. I was happy and mad and nervous. I was just like, there's a lot going on, bro. It's funny. It's just funny. I think about that shit now, bro. A lot of funny shit happened. A lot of funny shit. Hey, just like, we made that video pointing the cameras with our guns and shit, and we thought Jay had put it on his live. We were like, oh. That's fun, man. I low-key wish I had like a camera so I could like film us, and then it'd be like a fucking Ghetto Ducks documentary. That should be
like for real. That should have been a documentary. It really should have. For real.
Cause like people are gonna be like, damn, y'all did all that shit. It's like, we didn't know that happened. It's like, yeah, you didn't know all that shit happened. You thought we were just some ignorant ass niggas running around.
Yep. Well, any bros in the Dallas sex area, hit me up, but if not, I'm gonna go solo.
That's it. If you're in the Texas area, CJ, you need to hit up Matt.
Oh yeah, I'm
Matt or Dallas. Isn't Body by You in Dallas?
Yep, I believe so.
There you go, CJ.
And I think Dallas is only like 3 hours away. That far, 3.5 hours.
Everything in Texas is far as fuck, bro.
I've been going to Dallas.
I hate driving through Texas. Like, you gotta, like when I joined the Navy, and I had to drive my car from Jacksonville to San Diego. Yeah. And I got out and I had to drive back. Like, bro, 2 days. I think so. Like, just that long straight shot, bro. Yep. Where it's like 2 days, Texas, 2 days. Like, wow. I remember looking at that shit. I was like, why the fuck is Texas so fucking big?
Oh, snap. What up? One week. That's the guy right there.
Your culture?
Oh, yeah. That's the guy right there. What it do? Yeah, that's the guy.
What up, Sagly TV? A shout out to him too. I'll be getting a lot of my videos from him. He be posting that shit.
Yeah. Yep. I be seeing those same videos and be putting my own little spin on it, man. I love them videos you be posting, man.
I like it that he posts it so I don't get banned for it no more.
I was trying to figure out how you beat that solution. Remember, they was on your ass, man.
Brother, man. They was on my ass hard, bro. Like, every time I posted something, I was like, well, is this gonna be it?
No doubt, man, for real. Yeah. Nah, I knew which one when they was gonna get you one time with the gorilla. You did a post on Gorilla Warfare. I was like, this is gonna be it. This is the one. You gonna jump me.
Oh yeah, that's when I was like, F you Instagram, I'm just going in. I started posting whatever I wanted, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you know what? Because I knew they was gonna do it, bro. It was like everything I was posting was like getting flagged, and they was flagging me for stuff from like years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, at this point, bro, it's like they could literally find any post and flag me for it. So it's like, you know what? Fuck it, bro. I ain't gonna go out begging. I'm just gonna go out hard. And so that's what I did.
Oh yeah, Doc confirmed Body Bio is in Dallas. Yep.
Yeah, there you go, CJ. So hit up Body Bio, CJ. He'll honestly get you right with everything like I can really do. Rifle, pistol, shotgun, DMR shit, TQV shit, shooting from a vehicle, close quarters, all that shit. So whatever I can do, and then like honestly probably more because he's done this the firearm instruction thing longer than me. So definitely hit up Body Bio.
You know what I like? I still haven't found. I know they all over the place, but like a lot of them are already a good outdoor range. Since I made it out here to Houston, man, a lot of them require memberships that are closed right now that aren't taking new members. Like enough for us to train how we like to train. Or whatever.
I thought in Texas you should go out into like the middle of fucking nowhere.
Probably somewhere, but I'm in the city. I'm in Houston. This is yeah. But I know there's a lot of good, dope outdoor ranges in this area that we plan on bringing the course to. Mm-hmm. I just got to go out there and check it out and see what's up. But a lot of them, like I said, they're closed in membership. I guess they're so dope that everybody wants to go to them.
And shit, I'm pretty sure after, especially what happened in whatever place, how you say it, the latest shooting in Texas.
Uvalde?
Just like in general, like a lot of people just want to shoot, you know. It's I probably got those ranges like, oh, if you don't buy a membership, you're gonna not have a place to train. So hurry up and buy a membership. You know?
Yep, it's crazy. Yeah, that's tragic. I get it though. There's a lot of I don't know what's with the uptick of whatever, but that's not for me to understand. I just know that shit's happening all over the place all the time.
Oh yeah, bro. That's like, I don't know. People be like, I don't know what people be thinking sometimes. It's like, it's a lack of education. It's like, listen, I don't know if you're going to educate enough people to the point where murder and crime just goes away.
No.
I don't think that's ever going to be.
Nah, as long as there's poverty, I think that's in America, I think that's gonna always be a thing. It's just who's gonna be in poverty.
But even without poverty, because rich motherfuckers commit crimes.
Right.
They be committing the most crimes.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know.
Right.
That's what I be in my little bubble.
But you know what? Have you noticed? I know you've watched it because you've been there from the beginning. So you watched well, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you seen with your own eyes an uptick in our communities and education?
Oh yeah, bro. Like you're saying, like when I first started this thing, the only black people doing even the gun channels I really saw that was actually doing it seriously was Coleon and Hank Strange.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's why I kind of decided to start doing it, because I didn't see the representation.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, definitely when I first started, bro, I was like the only black person out there. And then, but yeah, definitely after like Trump came in office, it was like explosion, bro. It was like black people all the time out there. And now there's, I don't know how many black gun influencers now and YouTubers and shit.
So do you think that?
Right, so it's like I'm happy for it. The only thing that just gets me is that I see so many of us rushing for the entertainment value of the firearms. So you'll mag dump something and get 1 million followers, right?
Oh yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
You get highly colorful guns, you know. So there's a lot of entertainment type in it. So we lack out on the education. No, there's educators, but it's like many black people are not gravitating towards those educators as much as they are entertainers. And
wow.
I want us to have that balance where it's like, no, we need both. You know, and guns are cool and they're fun, yeah. And everybody's gonna be some firearms expert, true. But it's like we need to have a balance. And I see it's more tipped in the favor of entertainment and showing out and how does my gun go with my outfit? How do I look on Instagram versus does that person actually know? Like you can look at people and their guns and be like, yeah, you got a cool gun, but I can tell you don't know how to fucking use that thing like that. You know?
Well, making the funk for the gram. No, I feel you, man. I didn't. Thanks for that insight. I didn't know if I was where I stood on that, but I didn't know you have a closer insight on how it is, and definitely, I would hope that people would spend more time focusing on being practical, getting education, and being able to utilize this training for some sort of better good, as opposed to it all being about flash, and you can't really do what you're supposed to with it. But with that being said, do you think it's been benefiting the community, this uptick in instructions and education? Do you think that over time it'll start spreading out and the education will start providing some benefit at the rate we're going?
I do see progression, yes. Though it is kind of slowly happening. It seems rapid, but it's still kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like they want to do it, but they're still looking for like, why do I need to do all this? You know, why do I need tactical medicine training? Why can't I just get my CCW, right? And so trying to get them to go, right? So trying to get them to think past that point of, well, I got the bare minimum. Why do I need to go above and beyond? And you're right. And so that's probably the hardest part right there, is trying to get them to think more than just having a CCW. I got this 9 on me. No, you need a 9. You need a spare magazine. The 9 needs a flashlight. Maybe if you don't have good iron sights on it, get some. Maybe a red dot, right? And that 9 needs to come with training and a holster.
Right.
That 9 isn't going to get you through everything. That 9 is there, you know, either because you can't carry a rifle and you need something on you, or to help you get to that rifle.
Right.
So what is your rifle? You know, is it going to be AK? Is it going to be AR? How's it set up? You know, what's the barrel length? What's the velocity? What's the optic? Again, what's the light, the sling? What type of trigger do you know? There's a science behind everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, too many of us thinking surface level. So
right,
really go down the rabbit hole sometimes. You know, like shit like this. Like you saw how I just put this shit together, like right here on live, and you know, people were like, that's kind of hard. Like, how you building? It's because I understand, like you said, the process. You know, I understand what kind of needs to be set on a rifle for it to be good to go, so I can mess around with shit, put on different shit.
Right. You understand on that level, exactly. Mm-hmm. So in your opinion, would you say that how do you feel about people's, do you feel that people are like in touch with reality, like they're of reality, are lining up with their thoughts of how things are gonna go should they ever have to use their firearm, their CCW, should they ever have to deploy their CCW? Do you think that they're going to be in for a rude awakening, or do you think that, you know, it kind of matches up for their expectations?
No, a lot of people are going to be in for a rude awakening. I ain't going to lie. Even myself will probably be in for a rude awakening, even all the training I do, because again, it's like, until you've been through it, you don't really know how you're going to go through it. So So definitely, but again, yeah, a lot of people, they don't understand. I think the biggest one is the mental. How it's mentally going to affect you and how you're mentally going to respond and how everything goes with it. You know, I feel like that's the hardest part. Everyone thinks about just shooting someone. You know, understand, like, you know, that's going to mentally kind of affect you. Like, granted, you're alive. It's a trade-off. Like, do you want to be mentally kind of scarred for the rest of your life, or do you want to be dead?
Yeah, and mentally not there at all.
Right? So you might not be like super far gone, but you might have some form of PTSD. Yeah, you might have some type of like loud noises, like fireworks, like going off, and you might start having cold sweats and breaking out and shit. But that's a trade-off for you to live. You know.
Yeah.
So I want people to understand that it's not just shooting someone and you're going home the next day to your wife and kids like shit ain't happening. Like, shit's gonna be different for you. You know, you can live and continue, but it's gonna be different. You know, there's just gonna be things you're gonna have to understand and know that this is how things are gonna be for us going on. You know, so definitely the middle aspect of carrying a gun, getting in a gunfight, and actually shooting and killing someone, and then the middle of like going through the legal process. They're gonna be like, "What happened?" And you're gonna be mentally distraught, but they're gonna want you to replay what happened. And so, you know, again, so they're gonna be like, "Fuck how you feel. Tell us what happened."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Fuck all that. What happened? For real.
Here's the tissue. Let us know when you're ready. He's like, "Damn, y'all niggas ruthless." Let's see any question before we go. Okay. Said patrolling the streets should be happening more in black communities. I agree. Yeah. Definitely. That's why, again, like I was saying with the street medics, like if we had that element in the black community where they would actually go out and patrol the neighborhoods, or if there's like an event or something, they can be out there. Or if they know like, hey, these gangs over here, they're beefing, then we need to post up on between, they're like you said, like if it's like OBOT, like we need to be posted up between 63rd and 64th.
Cause there's boundaries.
So like for real, like we be posted up right there between the two groups. So it's like, all right, they don't fuck with you, y'all don't fuck with them. You might not like each other, but at least ain't no bodies dropping, ain't bullets flying. The kids can go to the playground and be safe and shit. So definitely shit like that would help the community. And a lot of people in the community want to do it, but they don't want to do it. You know. Yeah, that sounds like Blaze.
No, that's my sister. Sister. There.
All right.
He's in Houston.
Even Doc Steele agrees. You know, it's definitely a mental. What am I looking for? It's definitely mentally traumatic to go through a self-defense shooting, or even see someone, even if not a shooting, like you just see someone die. You know, go through something traumatic like that. That's gonna affect you.
Knowing that could have hit you, that'll fuck you up too.
Yeah,
it really will. You start in your mortality, and it keeps you up at night. That's actually that's a acute form of that PTSD. I think a lot of people, especially black people, are walking around with it right now and don't even realize it, because they think you have to have had a uniform on and had plates on and been overseas in order to get it, to qualify.
That's another big thing. Like, there's so many people in the community, like you said, suffering from, you know, PTSD that is untreated because, like you said, oh, you're not military. How you gonna claim PTSD?
I live in the hood. That's one. That's a major one. Just a bullet, like there are people that got PTSD who never necessarily hit combat, but just from being out there in the high stress, patrolling, wondering if they were going to get hit in their noodle or if the step they took was going to blow their junk off. Even if they made it all the way back unscathed, they still had acute PTSD just from living that stressful, like being like, ugh. So imagine what living in the hood is, or under threat of violence, or near any rougher neighborhoods, or anywhere where there's violence, and you have to be on point, or feel like you're on point all the time. That can cause some, you know, some hypervigilance, some acute PTSD. Could go on to be chronic if you deal with trauma. Yep.
And so, again, all of that's going on in the community, but, you know, especially with us black men, like, I feel like, granted, I'm not probably the most qualified to talk about it, because I probably got my own shit. Well, I know I got my own shit, but, yeah, as black men, we're not very receptive to trying to hear someone tell us shit like that. You know, even if we do know it, and we do, even if deep down we know, like, hey, this person, what they're telling us is true. No, we just so prideful that we don't want to accept it.
Yep. What do you think needs to be done to speed up the education aspect in the community, so we could reach a point that hopefully 2023, every household has firearms, pistol, rifle, every household has education, tactical, medical, stop the bleed, combined. Every house has continued and advanced education. 2023, the end of it. Imagine that utopia. What do you think needs to happen to bring that about?
Unfortunately, for things to get to that level, it has to be some kind of mass tragedy that has to happen for that many people to really get on code. No, like in NFAC, like how many police brutality situations had to happen before black people finally said, all right, we popping out.
Right.
You know, so I feel like it's going to be just like that. It's going to have to be a situation, like you would think something like Buffalo would be a wake-up call.
Buffalo was mine. You would think, sorry to interrupt, that was the one that I thought was going to have everybody like, yo, whoa, yo, if I'm in this situation, I need a 10 out of 10 performance. I need to do everything right. I need to be able to shoot right. I need to be able to respond medically correctly. I need to understand the tactics and how the tactics apply to this situation. Now is the time to go. I thought Buffalo was that.
I thought Ahmaud Arbery was that. That's why when the NFAC happened, I was so adamant about it, because I was like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. And so even that we saw, not everyone will still pop out or even take action, you know. So that's the thing. It's got to be something worse than Ahmaud Arbery, worse than Breonna Taylor, worse than George Floyd, worse than Buffalo. You know, all the violence in Chicago. So it's like,
I can't imagine anything worse than Buffalo. What can you imagine worse than Buffalo? I'm not saying that there isn't, but I just can't imagine it. I'm trying to get some ideas.
Like a Ukraine situation, that's about it. You know, us getting invaded by somebody. That's the only thing I can see where it's like oh shit, like Russia's invading, Russia's invading, and they're actually bringing back slavery. Yeah, black people. I think that would be. They would honestly. Oh, okay, now we're not playing no more.
Okay.
So I feel like that would be the catalyst if like someone brought back slavery.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Let's see. Yeah, I agree, Dexter. We have a lot of communities that have had much trauma as combat engagements overseas. Like they said, like they were comparing kids in Chicago to the kids in Iraq, the amount of trauma they were seeing.
Absolutely.
You know? So.
Yep. Absolutely. They're seeing wounds of war over there all the time. As a matter of fact, all over the United States, we're seeing these wounds. We're seeing these scenarios, these situations that all could have been mitigated if people would have taken these things more seriously prior hand.
And that's the thing we see. I think we see time and time again, people not taking this serious or thinking, hey, because it happened in Buffalo, New York, where they don't have guns, that can't happen in Jacksonville, Florida, or Houston, Texas. You know, so then when it does happen, you know, people are again, they're shocked. You know, now they're playing the fucking catch-up game yet again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, like, people are constantly playing the catch-up game. We're saying, oh, this can't happen until it happens, and then we're like, oh shit, now what do we do?
Reactive. We're very reactive instead of proactive in that regard, for sure.
Yeah,
we're not really prepared, because prepared would be doing this beforehand. We just react, never prepared.
All right.
Playing catch-up.
All right. What up, Survival Sisters? Another group of people I want y'all to follow. I know it's like 5 of y'all, but Survival Sisters, they be out there doing their damn thing. So
yeah, Survival Sisters. I love watching them do their thing, I swear.
But again, I like seeing what Survival Sisters do, because again, like how you're saying, like the future, how it should look like that. You know, you got young kids already knowing how to tie Turner kids, do medical, shoot, move, communicate, and all that stuff.
That is to me, that's the only way. We can teach us as adults all day, but our generation's gonna die out before them. And if the kids don't do it, then it stops for them. You change the future, you start with the kids, because they're gonna just replace us, and they're gonna grow up in a world where that's normal, which means they'll teach their children because it was normal to them. So on and so forth. And the world and our reality can change in as simple as a generation or two.
Right,
But
and
you have to go for the children. That's how it works.
Right. And now that's how you low-key build a warrior nation. Now, generation after generation, now it's normal for, like, what do you mean you don't have a firearm? This is what we do.
Flip,
you know?
Whole flip. What do you mean you don't like shame on you? You know what I mean? Well, you call yourself you know what I mean? Like, come on, get out of here. You know what I mean? That's what we need, but we're coming from an area where it was more looked down upon. And what do you mean you have a firearm?
Yeah, because again,
like, what do you need that for? That's abnormal.
Yeah, because it was again from a fear base. It's like, you have a gun, you're gonna be a thug, you're gonna get shot, go to jail. Yeah. So again, a lot of the mentality has to change. Now I see some of it changing, but you know, because again, like you said, when Trump came in, it's like 58% of gun owners were black. So no, they got the message. You know, it's just, that's kind of why I low-key wish Trump stayed in office, because you see the black progression of the NFAC, black people was unified. You know, we was together. They're not. You know, we was on code. You know that now Biden's coming in. Now they kind of like, okay, now we're good. We don't have to do this no more. Yeah. And so I feel like, you know,
complacency kills. That's what it is.
Facts.
We suffer from that, and you know what? It's normal. We just got to train that out of people, because even Marine soldiers, sailors, airmen overseas, they have signs all up overseas as you're deploying on porta potties. Complacency kills. Complacency kills. You see it all throughout Iraq. There's a complacency kills.
Yeah, we had on the boats too.
You're still gonna get complacent even out there. Like once you get over it, you be like, man, I'm not worried anymore, and bam, just like that. You know what I mean? It's causing us to get killed. Something happens, we get over it real quick. We get complacent immediately, and we don't pursue continuing down that path that you were inspired to do in the first place, and continue to seek advancing and more training. It seems like almost like, okay, we're good, the threat is gone. You know what I mean? And that's not the case. They're going to continue. Things are going to continue forever. As long as it's spinning, you're always going to have the need to know how to protect yourself, coming from one way or another. You know what I mean? Whether you defend yourself in war, personally from your own neighbors, you know what I mean? It could be anything, but it's never going to stop.
Right. I'm kind of liking the setup.
That's the one you get, that short bus?
This is one I had like pretty much for all the formations. And so eventually I'm gonna get a red dot put up on here. And so it's like a budget build, but eventually get a different light. But I'm liking this though. I like just how it feels. You know?
Yeah.
And I like how I can eventually when I get red dot, I'll be able to, take out the distance and then just boom, boom, boom over the top.
Yeah.
Night vision. Because I don't need iron sights on it. So I like having my light here. So you see everything streamlined. So.
Your setup is streamlined.
But I'll probably have to change it. If I get an IR device, I'm probably going to have to move the light somewhere, but still. I'm liking this.
An IR device?
Yeah, I'm going to get an IR device. I'll probably get a different light since my IR is here. I have the light on the side. No, I got my can in jail. And so, no, I'm going to have it suppressed. But this ain't going to be looking dope. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be looking pretty badass.
I know it is.
All right. This was the...
We got to put something together.
Yeah, this was the gun I mag dumped in the backyard for 4th of July. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, the backyard.
That shit was funny. The neighbors were like,
the neighbors were like, is that automatic?
Yeah, like,
what's going on?
That shit was funny as hell, bro. Cause like everybody was shooting, bro. Like when the neighbors next door to us started letting off, but that shit scared the shit out of me.
I told you they was gonna do it.
I didn't know when they were gonna do it. They literally started shooting right next to the window, bro. That shit was scary.
Yep, they do it all the time. That's why I was like, go ahead and shoot with the backyard. Literally, we shoot in this area whenever we want. We basically.
Oh yeah, I know. I was out there hearing this shit, especially. That's why I like 4th of July in Jacksonville, bro. I feel like I hear more gunshots than fucking fireworks. That shit it'd be funny because people will set up some firecrackers. You hear the pop, 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 boom, boom, boom. I was like, I don't sound like no firecrackers, but okay.
Yep.
But the funniest ones are like the firecracker go pop, pop, pop. Like, what the fuck? What type of firecrackers is that? Firecrackers got a switch. But all right, man. I think we've been on for a while. Again, I'm gonna have you back on. I'm gonna find. I'm gonna actually make a post like, ask like 10 medical questions, and we'll go through them type shit.
Perfect. I'm available for that. That'll be dope.
Oh yeah. Right. That way, again, like I can post these videos on YouTube, then people will be like, "Oh, North Florida Tactical," and then you become like the black 2A medical doctor, the 2A.
I like that. Yeah, get up and on that other stuff. Get up with me and Johnny later on about setting something up.
All right, bet.
So, all right,
man. I appreciate you coming on. Stay dangerous.
Anytime. You stay dangerous too, man.
All right,
I don't know.